What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video. It is Friday. It is May 3rd. We have made it to the weekend almost, and we are back with another video breaking it down. If you've never been here before, hopefully you're in for a treat. If you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you have not. We've already crossed the 9,100 subscriber mark. Would love to get to 10,000 before June 1st. I think we can do it. We've got a month. Let's try to get it there. If you've never been here before, we have 2 giveaways every single day. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com is the website, but here are 2 ways to win before we get into everything else. Number 1, like the video and be a subscriber, and leave a comment on the video. If you leave a comment and the video gets at least 50 likes, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. That includes a week of whatever sport we are currently doing on the website. If we get 100 likes, it's a free month. 150 likes, a $200 free year. 200 or more likes on any video, you have a chance to win a $500 lifetime pass. The second way to do it, and it counts as your comment, like the video, be a subscriber, and tell me who is going to hit a home run and what inning are they going to hit it in. You get both of those correct, take a screenshot of your comment on this video, then email us dfshelp1@gmail.com with a username and email you would like to use, and we will get you set up on the website for a free week of Fantasy Team Advisors FTA+. Now, the website right here, we do baseball. I've had questions and I've asked questions in the Discord, but in the description of this video is the link to our Discord. Get in there. We give you core plays. We go back and forth. We give you sports bets. People ask. We give lineup advice. People help each other. People helping people. The second thing in the description also is the article for today. So we're going to go through every single pitcher on the slate. We're going to look at the batters for each game. But if you want it broken down a little bit more, you want, a handful of pitchers and like 5 plays at each position to start off with, that is in the description as well. So that being said, we are going to see who the winner of yesterday's video is. So yesterday's slate for the Thursday slate was interesting. We're doing well, and then Nate Eovaldi got hurt. That kind of screwed up everything. But yeah, let's see who the winner from yesterday is, and we will go ahead and choose them right there. We've got MPHS Teach. Now, first comment on yesterday's video. They've won it before, so when you see this, hit the like button and email me. I cannot remember exactly what your username is on the website, but that is a testament right there. You come back every single day, you can win every single day. Whether or not it's a week, a month, a year, or once you hit a lifetime pass. So, congratulations yet again. We are ready to rock. So, we do have 6 games early and then a 9-game main slate for Friday. So, we're very excited. It's finally the weekend. We are going to dig into it right now. So, we got a full slate. We're ready to go. We've got everything. So, just to reiterate some of the things, we do have some ballparks that absolutely love to be hit with home runs. So if you go to MLB tab here and you go down to, we've got a bunch of things you can see, but you go to like ballpark ratings. So we do have Great American Ballpark. It is here. It is back. It is a plus 36% to hit a home run in this ballpark between the Orioles and the Reds, which we're very excited about. The wind is blowing out. The weather is getting nice. It's May. We could see a ton of home runs in this one. PNC Park, we've got wind blowing in, which might give a boost to doubles and triples. Same thing with Chase Field. It is a dome. We're seeing right now the models are seeing a pretty significant boost in doubles and triples. So what I will say is, if you've never been here before, during this video, we are running simulations. So we run 20,000 simulations a day. When it's a big slate, like yesterday's slate, we only did 10,000 because when I ran them, they didn't change. But we run them during this video and post them on the website. And then after the video, in about 2 hours or so before lineup locks, we throw in the 20,000 simulations. But what we're going to do at the end of this video, or towards the end, we're going to give you the top 20 bats after 10,000 simulations. We're also going to give you our take on some of the stacks that we like. So if you've got questions, definitely get those down below. We always want to answer them as fast as we can. If we don't answer them in a timely manner here on the YouTube page, you can always hit us up on Discord as well. So that being said, We got Joe Ross versus Hayden Wesneski. So we've got a Chicago Cubs Brewers game going. A lot of runs the Cubs have been putting up this year. A lot of the bats have been hot right now. Joe Ross did not have it against the Yankees. Now, I don't think the Cubs are as good as a team as the Yankees. I think that's pretty safe to say, but we've still got a Wrigley game. We've still got two pitchers that I probably don't want any exposure to. I'd rather take the bats in this one, especially in the early slate. So we look at them. Now, this is Baseball Savant. You guys can use it as well, but if you have questions, that's the website. But what I like about it, and actually what I did was, and I kind of wanted to do this in one of these videos, but honestly, the video would be so long. What we have is Baseball Savant, and you can type in the pitcher there or whatever, whoever you want, and it breaks down every single StatCast possibility. It breaks down pitchers on how they pitch at home, away, home at night, home during the day, break down ERA by inning, pitch count, how many games they've had. It's crazy. I don't know how to incorporate that quite yet, but I will try to see if I can figure that out. But I did have a few people reach out yesterday. Huge day for a lot of people, like yesterday and the day before on Wednesday. They hit some massive, massive tournament wins, which was awesome. If you have those and you've used our advice and you want to come to our Discord channel and put your winning lineup in there, that would be awesome. But they did ask and they sent tips. So there are multiple ways to tip if you want. I suggest not doing it here on YouTube because YouTube Super Thanks, they take like over 50%. So if you guys are interested in giving us a tip or a donation, whatever you want to call it, you can email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter @advisors_team, and I'll give you the information that way. I had a couple people do that yesterday, which was awesome. Not expected, but trying to make you a better DFS player, it is appreciated. It does help the channel out immensely. But back to your regularly scheduled content. Probably not taking the pitchers in this game. I would take bats in this game. If I'm looking at the Brewers bats, William Contreras is on fire. I would look at him. Willie Adames is another one. Rhys Hoskins. I love me some Rhys Hoskins. I try to get him in my season-long league every single year except this year because my team is absolutely loaded. Those would be the three main ones. If you want to differentiate yourself from the pack and you got to find yourself a different, different player type, Jake Bauers is a tournament option. You could look at Bryce Terang. I don't mind him. Oliver Dunn, I think, is a sneaky one. I think everyone's going to be on Jackson Chourio, and I think we could pivot and go to the lower guys there. Then on the flip side, the Cubs bats. Chris Morel is absolutely murdering it right now. All red across the board, even his speed, he's got it. K percentage is a little bit lower, so it's great. It's not red. But yeah, we've got a lot going on with him. He seems like he's hitting the ball all the time. I think he had a big home run yesterday or like a big extra base hit yesterday. I would look at him. Michael Busch is a cheaper one. His slugging right now is 546. Mike Tauchman would be a cheap lefty bat against Joe Ross. Joe Ross did not have a good time really this season. There's not much that I've liked about him at all. I will be stacking in this game. I will be stacking on both sides of the ball there, or on both teams, not the pitching. Orioles Reds is the next one. Cole Irvin versus Hunter Green. Like I said, with the way the wind's blowing out here, and obviously weather can change, so definitely check it out. I'm probably not looking at either of these pitchers either. The bats are what I'd look at. Or sports betting is what I would look at here as well. So, Irvin, 16 plate appearances, really not much. I guess you could go Hunter Green because he's never seen the Orioles before. We did see Luis Gil hold them down to 0 runs Wednesday night. So the offense hits well like it did on Thursday. Didn't hit well on Wednesday. So it's very up and down, very hot or cold. I will take a little bit of a Hunter Green, but I do love the bats in this one more. It's got the best chance for home runs with the weather, and you can see there is a ton of red. Gunnar Henderson, probably, as of now, running away with the American League MVP. Jordan Westburg has been hitting quite well, too. Ryan O'Hearn does not look like the same player he did in Kansas City. He could be in store for a good game. Mountcastle, I believe, had a pretty damn big home run, I think dead center against Rodon on Thursday. Colton Cowser, here's my problem. Colton Cowser, like the first 14 or 17 games, looked amazing. Was batting like 400. He's really fallen off lately. Has not done much lately. That scares me a little bit because people are going to see this, but a lot of this was earlier. So I might be off of him a little bit till he finds his groove. Adley Rutschman, I love Adley Rutschman here. Cedric Mullins is another one as well. Santander, I don't mind. I don't love, though. Flip side of that, if you think Irvin's not going to have a good game, you think the Reds are going to have a good game. Ellie De La Cruz, Tyler Stevenson against the lefty. I do love taking him. Spencer Steer, Will Benson, Christian Encarnacio Strand. I don't know about him. Might be off of him. Value-wise, I don't know if he's going to start catching. If it's not Stevenson, Luke Mailey, I don't mind him. Stuart Fairchild, I think it's a lefty on lefty, but, you know, that's not a death sentence. So there are plays to like here. Candelario is a switch hitter. Would be a cheap option there as well. So a little bit of Hunter Green, but I'd rather just take the bats overall. Rockies at the Pirates, Cal Quantrill versus Martin Perez. Quantrill, 28 plate appearances, 385. Like, this early slate is kind of gross overall for pitching, especially on, like, DraftKings when you have to have two pitchers. Martin Perez, 41 plate appearances, 400 batting average against this. So if we just see who's had success, we can just possibly take a little gander and see, like, Brian Reynolds. See, the numbers are skewed a little bit, but then it's like 3 for 7, 4 for 7, no extra base hits there. One home run from Brian Hayes, and that's it. I'd still rather take the Pirates bats over the pitching in this one. Kind of the same thing here. I don't trust Charlie Blackmon. It'd be Ryan McMahon, Brendan Rodgers, Diaz. Those are really the only ones that I trust. So I'm going to lean more heavily towards Pittsburgh. I guess you could go with Martin Perez for tournaments because he is going to be cheap. He is going up against a very bad Rockies team. Rockies have put up runs. They put up runs. But yeah, I'm a little weary of this one pitching-wise. Again, like I said, the pitching overall is not the best. Oh, it's going to do this, isn't it? Awesome. Fantastic. That's what I wanted. Okay, so we're not even going to be able to look at it right now. Why? Okay, well, I thought I got tricked. I got bamboozled. Awesome. The baseball savant's down at the moment. So, the bats that I would look at for the Pirates. Triolo, if he's in there. Brian Hayes. Kutch. You could look at Kutch. This is annoying. Rowdy Tellez, I believe. Okay, I really thought it was going to work there. Okay, well, we'll have to wait. But give me a second. I'm going to pause the video, see if it will reload for us. All right, well, apparently StatCast is currently down, so that's great. But we will persevere. We will continue through. We finally get to a matchup here. Now, Jordan Hicks has looked fantastic for the most part this year. He's already faced Philly, or he's faced Philly here. 24 plate appearances in his career, 100 batting average, 33.3. Philly has been thrown, like, they've been pitched to before on this season, and, you know, there's games they've put up a ton of runs. There's games they've put up least amount of runs. I don't mind either of these pitchers. I do wish this game were in San Francisco. That is more of a pitcher-friendly park, but we can still take advantage of it. So, I think Hicks is more of your tournament option. I think Aaron Nola is more of your cash option. Aaron Nola just has more experience. He's a stud for a reason. He knows what he's doing. So, that's kind of my thought process there. If you're going around it and you're looking for, you know, let's say for whatever reason you're going a different direction in pitching, you want to look at the bats. So with San Francisco, Lamont Wade Jr. would be one. Jung-Ho Lee would be another one. Matt Chapman, Patrick Bailey, all are fantastic options if you are stacking there. Flip side of that, if you think Hicks finally has a hiccup or whatever you want to say, Philly bats, obviously Schwarber at the top. It's pretty much home run or bust for him, so that's the only problem with Schwarber. His price is up there, though. Trey Turner, I think Trey Turner needs another standing ovation from the crowd. Let's get it going because I want to see him really rock and roll. Harper, obviously, would be one. Whit Merrifield would be one. It just depends. Alec Boehm is one of the best hitting hitters this year so far. Had a fantastic fantastic April. I would look at him. You could look at a little bit of JT Realmuto, but I really usually like to use him more against lefties. But there's different ways to go about it. If you do think Hicks just doesn't have it today, that is one way to build around him. Take Philly bats in that one. But I will have exposure to both of these. Again, this early slate doesn't have the best pitching, so you got to get creative. You got to go different directions. That's how you take down tournaments. So moving to the next game, you got Kikuchi versus Patrick Corbin. You've got Blue Jays at the Nats. Now, Patrick Corbin, past couple of games, he's been decent. It's still Patrick Corbin. The problem, here's my problem. I could see both things happening. Patrick Corbin's been bad. Overall, 87 plate appearances, 403 batting average against him. Kikuchi, 8 plate appearances, 125. Kikuchi's looked really good. I would use Kikuchi, both cash or tournaments. I don't care. The problem is Toronto bats have not looked amazing overall this year. So two things are going to happen. Either Patrick Corbin's going to shove for no absolute reason. So tournament-wise, Patrick Corbin, if you're one that makes like multiple lineups, like say 20, 50 lineups, I'm okay with Patrick Corbin there. But he's not had success. And let's just look. Hopefully it's working. I don't know if it's working. It's working. Justin Turner has faced him a ton. We see 16 for 42, 4 doubles, 2 home runs, batting .381. George Springer, 4 for 13 with a double and a home run, batting .308. Vlad, 1 for 3. Kevin Biggio, 1 for 1 with a double. You got Alejandro Kirk, 3 for 3 with 2 doubles. I could see it being that way. In my mind, I'm probably stacking the Blue Jays. And that's just the way I'm probably going to go. George Springer at the top could lead off with double, triple, home run, whatever. Vlad is another one. Bo Bichette has just not looked the best this year. I would look at Justin Turner. So if I am stacking Toronto, Justin Turner, George Springer, Vlad, then it depends. You want a cheap option if he's playing? IKF would be a cheap option. Ernie Clement would also be another cheap option. You could also dig down a little bit deeper. Davis Schneider could be another cheap option for you as well. So that's my thought in this one. I do want some Kikuchi in this, and always need some Kikuchi on a Friday. And I will look at Toronto bats in this one. Then we get to the final game on this early slate. You've got Kintana versus Aaron Savale. Kintana, 17 plate appearances, 500 batting average. Not the sexiest name, but a great SP2. Tampa Bay has looked terrible. Like, they do not look like themselves. I don't know what's going on in Tampa Bay. None of their hitters are hitting. If I'm not saying I'm going to have any exposure to this game, but if I were to, it would be Kintana and probably some Mets bats. Now, Lindor would be one. Let's see if it's working. Hopefully, fingers crossed it's working. It is. Brandon Nimmo would be one. Lindor, Starling Marte, DJ Stewart. Some form of either Alonso, Tyrone Taylor. You could even go as low as Joey Wendell. I don't know if I will. But I do not trust what Tampa Bay, the product Tampa Bay has brought. Could they sweep because the Mets are the Mets? Yes. I'll have some exposure to this game. Quintana will be my SP2. I don't trust him as my SP1 on DraftKings, but I will have some exposure to the Mets and Quintana in this game. Now, we finally made it to the promised land. We have made it to the main slate. 9-game main slate. Starts off Tigers at the Yankees. You got Reese Olson versus Marcus Stroman. Olson's only faced 17 plate appearances, so not much. Stroman has 18 plate appearances, 313. Not much either. Stroman has looked good in every start except his last start. Now he's pitching at home here again. Did not look good in his last start, but pitching at home against this Tigers team, I think he'll have his stuff. He's not got the best fastball. But he's a ground ball pitcher. So I will have exposure to Stroman. I will have exposure to the Yankees bats. Juan Soto, I will have exposure to Juan Soto here at home. I will have exposure to... So Aaron Judge was heating up, and then he really didn't do much in the Baltimore series. And this is going to happen, but you've got him there. Verdugo is back. You could look at him. Volpe has slowed down a little bit. I don't know if he's just going through a rough patch. Just seems like the Yankees, most of their bats are going through a rough patch right now. The bats for the Yankees I would look at would be, I would look at Anthony Rizzo. I would look at Verdugo. I would definitely look at Juan Soto. Glaber hit a home run. Maybe he's turning things around. Trevino or Wells, whichever catcher is in there, I don't mind them either. So I'm probably off the Stanton train. I don't believe he played. He did not play on Thursday. He looks lost at the plate too. Tigers, I don't want Reese Olson, and I really don't want any Tigers bats. So I'm on the Stroman train and Yankees train. Next game, Angels at the Guardians. Jose Soriano versus to be announced. Trying to see if they've put anyone here yet, which I don't believe. They think maybe it's Tanner Bibby. Yeah, he did pitch last Saturday, so it would make sense that it would be his turn. 3.45 ERA, 2-0 record, 35 strikeouts. Pitching at home, he's only pitched 2 games at home, does have an elevated ERA there. But again, the Angels really don't have much going on. Sano is hurt. Trout is hurt. It's O'Hoppe. It's Taylor Ward. No one else really scares me there. Tanner Bibby, tournament-wise, I'm okay with Tanner Bibby as tournament. And then I would look at Cleveland bats. So Cleveland bats, Soriano hasn't really faced them, but we do look at Soriano here, come down to right here. 7,200. It's got a 4.77 ERA. Game log coming off a terrible game against Minnesota. 2 pretty good games here, and then not a good game against Tampa Bay and not a good game against Boston, and an okay game against Baltimore. So Cleveland bats, Jose Ramirez jumps out. Josh Naylor. Those are the 2 main ones that I would look at in this lineup. Those are the ones that have been doing the most. And then if we dig in just a little bit more, Will Brennan would be another one. I mean, this is if you're going with a Cleveland stack. The first 2 that I would look at is Naylor and Jose Ramirez off the top. If you're going for another stack, Stephen Kwan makes sense. Andres Jimenez makes sense. Bo Naylor, Will Brennan, maybe a little bit of Tyler Freeman as well. Just really depends on what outfield that Cleveland throws out there. I do not trust Soriano, at least in cash. You could throw him in tournaments just because his ownership is probably going to be less than 5%. But the Angels, I don't trust Joe Adell. They just called Willie Calhoun up, Logan O'Hoppe, Taylor Ward, and that's it. There's not a lot to like about this Angels team. I'd rather take a little bit of Bibby, and I'd rather take the Cleveland bats. Rangers at the Royals. You got Michael Lorenzen versus Brady Singer. This is a pitcher's park. Singer in his career, 38 plate appearances, 281 against the Rangers. But it is a pitcher's park, so we could look at that. Lorenzen's another one that I don't trust. So, for whatever reason, where is he? There he is. Lorenzen, 7,500. 4.24 ERA, only 14 strikeouts. 3 starts. The strikeouts, he had a good game strikeout-wise against Atlanta. 8 earned runs his last 2 games. Now he's facing Kansas City, who's been hitting well. I do not trust him. Then you got Brady Singer. He's up here. 9,100. If it'll load. 9,100. 2.62 ERA. He's been doing well. 34 strikeouts. Home games, he's given up more earned runs, but he's also pitched more. Strikeouts they're pretty good. He's not had like an outstanding, amazing, like dominant game since opening day for him, or his first pitch against Minnesota. But strikeout-wise, Texas can strike out. We know that their offense is amazing. So their offense is an amazing offense. We already know this. Which offense is going to show up. So they didn't put up very many runs lately, but when they're on, they're on. I think this could be a low-scoring game. I think on my end, I would probably take Singer for tournaments. I don't want Lorenzen. I'd rather have Kansas City bats. Now, the bats, and we've gone through these bats numerous times. Let's see. Bobby Witt Jr. at the top. Sal Perez is absolutely murdering it right now. Michael Garcia, Vinny Pasquantino, MJ Melendez. Those are the big ones. You want to pivot off that, get cheaper options. Michael Massey, been hitting. I've seen his last game. Let's see. .2800, 2 home runs. I mean, he's had back-to-back really good games. Home runs and back-to-back games. Cheap option, under 3K. If you're trying to differentiate yourself with a Kansas City stack, I do not mind Michael Massey at all. You could always look at Nelson Velasquez, who's been kind of cold. Freddie Furman is right in the middle. That's probably it. That's the way I would go. Texas bats, if you think that Lorenzen's going to, or that Brady Singer's going to be off, Corey Seager, Jonah Heim, Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia, Evan Carter, Nate Lowe. I don't mind these guys either. Just personally right now, until maybe we see what the simulations are saying, I'm leaning more towards Kansas City bats and Brady Singer. Next game, Mariners at the Astros. George Kirby versus Ronel Blanco. Both are fantastic options. The Astros have been terrible this year. The Mariners have not been as good as expected, but both of these pitchers have been doing well. I think both of these pitchers are tournament options or cash options. I think they're both. Honestly, I'm not looking at bats right now. If you were looking at bats, it would most likely be Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, and that would be it in this game. But I will have exposure to both of these pitchers, and that's probably it in this one. So we're not going to dig deep into this one now. If any of them jump out during the simulations, we'll put them in the cheat sheet. So everyone, if you need a little bit more help, again, go to the website. All of that information will be there. Or Discord if you guys got questions there too. Red Sox at the Twins, Tanner Houck versus Chris Paddock. Houck has been, and not as good as Cutter Crawford. I mean, it's kind of hard to be as good as Cutter Crawford has been. But Houck comes in with a 1.6 ERA, 41 strikeouts, which is wild. So he's had he had a fantastic game, complete game, 9 strikeouts against a really good Cleveland team, coming off a really good game against Chicago. Now he's on the road. If you look at splits-wise, 3-3. Got a 1 ERA on the road. He's averaging 25.2 fantasy points on the road against a Minnesota team that's kind of lackluster. I love Tanner Houck here. 1.6 ERA, 8,100, right? Yeah, 8,100. Save a little bit from Blanco and just pay a little bit more than Kirby. I don't mind him at all. Chris Paddock, I'm not a big fan of Chris Paddock. Almost a 6 ERA. We look at this, not a good game against a great game against the White Sox because you were supposed to have a good game against the White Sox this year. Yeah, bad against Baltimore. Middle of the road against the Dodgers. Not good against Milwaukee with 4.2. So, looking at that, I'm probably looking at some of the Red Sox bats. Tyler O'Neill would be the top one, obviously. Devers is another one. This is where, it's those two. You get into maybe a little bit of Wilyer Abreu, but maybe not. He's not really hitting very well. Dom Smith just came up. He would be a cheap option. Dom Smith is 2,800. I mean, if you're doing a Boston stack, I'm okay with that. I don't love that one. Then you got Garrett Cooper, who might be DH and might be playing first. I don't know what's going on with that situation. It's Devers, Tyler O'Neill, Jarren Duran. Then I don't know if this is one of those stacks where you do a 5-person stack there. We'll see what the simulations say. But I don't trust any of the Twins bats, so I'm not going in that direction with the Twins bats. Next game, White Sox at the Cardinals. Brad Keller versus Sonny Gray. I'm in on Sonny Gray because the White Sox are bad. Everyone, if this is your first time watching MLB videos this year, the White Sox are bad. Okay, their offense is terrible. Every 9 times out of 10 when we've taken a pitcher against the White Sox, come up aces. Sonny Gray is another one. He leaves the Yankees. He does well in Cincy, and he's been pitching. He started the season hurt. Now he's the highest priced pitcher. So he is the highest priced pitcher, but again, most pitchers this year are most likely going to be the higher priced pitchers against this Chicago team. I mean, all of his starts have been great. The walks he only walked 4. Strikeouts, he's got 21 strikeouts in his last 2 starts against New York Mets and Milwaukee. Got a 1.16 ERA, 32 strikeouts in 4 starts. Now he's got a fantastic matchup here against the White Sox. I'm in on the Cardinals. Brad Keller, let's see, 7,100 game log wise. So he came out of the bullpen. So now he's starting. So I don't know if he's even on like a pitch count. I don't know. Coming off the bullpen, he's played 1 game after getting called up. Now they're saying he's starting this game. I'm not on him. I would rather take some Cardinals bats. So just looking at the Cardinals bats that would even make sense in this game. Alec Burleson's been pretty good. Lars Nootbaar, Brendan Donovan, Wilson Contreras are the ones that I would start my stack off with. Then you got to find some value somewhere. Maybe Ivan Herrera is playing. I don't know. We'll have to wait. Nolan Gorman, maybe a little bit. But again, like Goldie and Arenado are expensive. They've not been like contributing as we're used to. So I might be paying down for a Cardinal stack and not paying up for those 2 massive guys for the Cardinals. So again, don't overthink it. Sonny Gray, Cardinals bats against Brad Keller and the White Sox. Padres at the Diamondbacks, you got Dylan Cease versus Ciccone, Pepperoni. I don't know how you say his name. If you're a Diamondbacks fan, let me know how you pronounce it. Probably murdered it. But Dylan Cease, 35 plate appearances, 212 batting average. The Diamondbacks have not looked as good as we're used to. Corbin Carroll is struggling mightily right now. We know he's a good player. When he gets on, he is stealing bases, just not hitting home runs. So I'm probably on the Dylan Cease train. So we look at this. Dylan Cease is the 2nd highest priced pitcher, 2.78 ERA, 40 strikeouts. Has not faced Arizona this year. 3-3 on the road and away. Away, he's actually pitching better on the road at a 1.90 ERA, averaging almost 10 more fantasy points on the road. I love him there. If you want to save a little bit of money, go down from Sonny Gray to Dylan Cease, and I think we'd be pretty good. The bats. So we look at, where's he at? Right here. A little bit of Slade, 2.25 ERA. He's not been bad, but again, only 2 starts. 6 innings in both of those starts. If he could go 6 innings here and not give up many runs, or maybe 3, he could be a sneaky option. At 6,600, I don't mind him. Honestly, none of the bats really stick out to me. Obviously, he would be a tournament option, but also like possibly an SP2 at 6,600. And that allows you to do a lot with your lineup. You could even maybe match him up with Dylan Cease. I do not mind. I don't mind going that direction. So I think Slade is more of your tournament option. Let's not overthink this one. I think Dylan Cease is your cash, SP1. Slade is your tournament. Could be SP2 in cash as well if you want to do that. And the bats really don't jump out to me at the moment, though. All right. So next game, we're getting close to the end. You got Ryan Weathers versus JP Sears in Oakland. Is a pitcher's park, and you normally love to see, take a pitcher against this A's team, but is Ryan Weathers going to be that dude? He's 6,000. He's averaging 11.1. He's got a 4.55 ERA. Splits-wise, on the road, he's better on the road. 6,000, coming off 2 really bad starts. Did not do well against Washington. Did not do well against Atlanta. Did really well versus San Francisco at home. And so that's the problem. 5 innings. Obviously, you need at least 5 innings out of him because that's what possibility gives you a win. Tournament wise, at 6,000, I'm okay with him. I don't trust him. That's why I don't trust him in cash. JP Sears is down here at 6,100, 4.64 ERA. He's had a good start against the Yankees, not so good against Baltimore, good against Texas. It's really weird, like the teams he's not been good against, but the teams he has been good against. The strikeouts have been there too. Miami, they do hit lefties well. Tournament-wise, I think both of these pitchers are fantastic options just based on the fact that they are right around 6,000 apiece. But if you want to go with bats instead, which I don't blame you, we could look at this. If you're looking at that, Jesus Sanchez hits lefties well. Jazz, I would look at Josh Bell, Otto Lopez, Brian De La Cruz, maybe a little bit of Tim Anderson, but he's looked terrible. Flip side of that, I mean, there's not a lot to like about this A's team, but if you were to take a stack, Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker, Shea Langoliers, Esteury Ruiz, maybe a combination of either Tyler Nevin or Seth Brown could spell success for you. Again, it's a pitcher's park, which is fantastic. You know, don't love it. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with. But I also don't mind either of these pitchers because of how ridiculously cheap they are on this slate. Then we finally got to the final game. We've got the Braves at the Dodgers. We've got Charlie Morton versus Gavin Stone. Morton, 182 plate appearances, 272 batting average, 19.8 K percentage. So not the biggest K percentage, but he's seen a ton of these bats. Gavin Stone, 19 plate appearances, 357. Really hasn't seen much. I'm assuming it's one or two players. Yeah, I mean, it's bumped up there, but you've got a 500 batting average, 1 for 2 for Acuna. Orlando Arcia's batting 1,000. So, I mean, that right there, those are the only two. That's the only reason it's up there. So then we dig in a little bit. That's kind of what we need. We're digging in a little bit to see what is going on. So Gavin Stone, 6,900, 324 ERA, 7 innings his last start against Toronto, 1 earned run, but only 2 strikeouts. The strikeouts have been low for Gavin Stone. That's the problem I see. But he's, he's averaging 12.4, 6,900. He's another cheap option, but the Braves, whatever's going on with the Braves, like they are not hitting like they're supposed to. The first month of the season, a lot of teams that aren't hitting or aren't supposed to be hitting have been doing really well, like Kansas City. Teams that are supposed to be really good have been bad, like the Astros, the Braves. Acuna hasn't been doing much. Tournaments, I'm okay with Gavin Stone. I'm probably not using him. And then, just depending, there he is. Uncle Charlie here, 360 ERA, 28 strikeouts. That's the problem. Strikeouts are, up and down, 6.4, 8.46. Coming off his second best start of the year against Cleveland, which they're a really good hitting team. But the Dodgers are also a really good hitting team. Both of these offenses scare me. I'm okay with both of these pitchers in tournaments, but again, it's if both of the offenses don't show up, or maybe they don't show up for the first 6 innings of the game, and both of these pitchers go 6 innings. Probably not going to happen, but the bats that I would look at here, Braves bats that even, it's pretty self-explanatory, what batters, but we'll still look at them. Matt Olson, Marcell Ozuna, Darno, Riley, Harris, Acuna. These are Ozzie Albies, Orlando Arcia. Like, there's a lot in this Braves. It just depends on the lineup that comes out. Dodgers is obviously Mookie at the top. Freddie Freeman against Matt Olson. Let's see. I'm thinking, Mookie Betts is 13 for 39 with 2 doubles and a home run, batting .333 against him. He's absolutely on fire. Not rookie of the year. NL MVP, if he keeps it up and doesn't get hurt, there's no way he loses that. Freddie Freeman, 10 for 20 with 3 doubles and 3 home runs. So 6 of his 10 hits have been extra base hits. 3 doubles and 3 of them have been home runs, batting .500. Freddie Freeman's in a fantastic spot there. Shohei, only 1 for 7. So I don't know if you want to pay up, but he's been hitting the ball really well. Will Smith, usually like to take him against lefties, but I will take him there as well. So I do not mind either stack here. It just depends on what you think. Tournaments, both pitchers I'm okay with, but I'd rather focus on the bats. And there you have it. That is the breakdown of all of the pitchers, all of the bats that we like. Now, we're going to go over the top 20 after 10,000 simulations real quick. These can and probably will have changed by the time you watch this video. So, take that and look at it, but you can also find them on the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So, Mookie Betts is number 1. Shohei Ohtani is number 2. Number 3 is Ronald Acuna Jr. Number 4 is Brian Reynolds. 5 is Matt Olson. 6 is Aaron Judge. 7 is Brendan Donovan. 8, we've got Wills Contreras, 9 Lars Nootbaar, and 10 Nolan Arenado. So 6 through 10 are St. Louis Cardinals right now. 11 Juan Soto, 12 is Freddie Freeman, 13 Bobby Witt Jr., 14 Corey Seager, 15 Marcell Ozuna, 16 Jared Trujillo, 17 Marcus Semien, 18 Max Muncy, 19 Nolan Gorman, and number 20 as of right now, Ryan McMahon going up against Martin Perez. So there you have it, a chock-full early slate, main slate Friday for you. Hopefully you found it helpful. Questions, comments, concerns, get those down below. Hopefully you had a great Thursday, and hopefully your Friday's been doing well so far. Let's have some fun today. Let's win some money. And let's bring home some bacon. Peace!